Okay, this isn't really a spoiler, okay? However, I'm gonna make this prediction right now. Whatever I rate this movie, that rating is going to fall off when the next movie gets released, the next Avengers movie.
It's like, what? You can't.
For
Is that
sure.
even fair?
For
Is that
sure.
even fair?
Oh
Because you're
yeah.
just saying that a
Oh yeah.
sequel can ruin the original.
Oh yes. But
See, that's a
we
difference
have 3 minutes to go, Kyle, and then we can discuss it.
That's the difference between you and me. I don't know that I would ever say that a sequel ruins an original.
Well, normally I wouldn't, except we'll talk about it in a little bit, okay?
Okay, fine. Maybe you will convince me.
Okay,
I'm
so
not.
right, we're past the limit, okay?
It's
So
302.
the reason why I'm not gonna like this movie as much when the second movie comes out is because I'm 99% sure in the second movie, okay? Massive spoiler alerts, by the way. If you get ass pain, then get fucked. It's because I'm pretty sure in the second movie they're gonna find a way to undo everything and bring everybody back, which kind of
Yeah.
which kind of renders yeah,
Definitely.
which kind of renders this movie a little bit meh. Where to start? How long to mute the stream? 2 hours. Just come back later. Don't just leave. Just exit the stream and come back later. So yeah, so there's that to keep in mind. Okay, damn, where to start? So dark. Okay, firstly, the thing that I liked the most about this movie, okay? Holy memes, okay? The thing that I like the most about this movie is that I really liked the villain. I think the villain dude was like really sick. Thanos?
Yeah, they did a Thanos, yeah. They did a good job of not making a villain who is evil just because someone had to be.
Yeah. I thought that he was the best villain I've ever seen, like in a superhero movie. Coming into this movie, I'm gonna be honest, I had very, very, very low expectations. No, when I say low expectations, I had superhero movie expectations. So I kind of just wanted it to be like mindless action memes or whatever. I thought that Thanos was like the coolest fucking villain ever. The ending scene with him, where he was like, where he kind of sort of smiled when that sunrise came up, like he said he wanted to, right? When the sun rises on the universe, I'll know that I've done my work. I thought that was really cool. The way the movie ended was pretty brave as well. The ending is what made the movie so dark. I can't believe that they ended it on that point. I was waiting for them to like, we found like, we actually have 6 of the 7 Dragon Balls and we just need the last one, and like set it up for the next movie to be like on a huge upswing, but they didn't at all. The movie actually ended incredibly darkly, with him having accomplished his mission and everything. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I really liked the way that Thanos was handled, and yeah, man, wow, the villain part is like really, really, really important. In Marvel movies, usually suck at that. So yeah,
Well, I mean, most superhero, whether it's a superhero or a shonen or whatever you want to say, like most, if it's made for kids, usually the villain is it's evil because someone has to be. That's how it always feels. That's how Voldemort feels. That's how a lot of villains feel. So every Dragon Ball Z villain feels.
Yeah.
And I don't think this was perfect, but it is so much better than you normally see in this shit.
It was 2.5 hours was a long time. There was a huge cast of characters. Man, what? So I don't like to just drop this meme whenever. I wish I had the movie in front of me, and I wish I had a more educated background so I could describe it better. It sounds like a meme to say this because I feel like people generally throw it in, but I genuinely thought the cinematography of the movie was really, really well done. There were like a lot of shots. There were a lot of scenes where like just the way that they were shot, I was thinking like, wow, this is like really, really cool. I really like what's on the screen right now. I don't know how else to explain that. I wish I had a better vocabulary for it. But I felt like there were a lot of scenes like that where I guess like generally in superhero movies I just expect like big explosions and just random shit or whatever. But in this movie I feel like there are a lot of shots where you could like take like a 10-second clip and be like, this was really fucking cool. The way that this was shown was like really awesome.
How do you feel about...
Why is Thanos evil? It's not just because someone needs to be. I don't know if you could say that Thanos is evil. I mean, he is in like our traditional sense, but I don't know. I thought that they handled, even though like if you look too deeply into his memes, it's kind of dumb. Like killing half the universe to save the other half gets into kind of
Basically
shit.
overpopulation.
Yeah, kind of. If you look like real deeply into it, but I feel like they handled his character well enough. And I really loved the dynamic that he had with all of the other characters. Like I kept waiting for him. I was waiting so many times for him to have his scene where he like punches someone and then walks up to him and is like, haha, you thought your power could ever match my power. But he wasn't. He was like, he was actually really respectful of every other character. Like I think he said as much to Tony Stark that he respected his, or something like, we're both cursed with knowledge or something. There was another superhero where he said it to, what's the main guy in Guardians of the Galaxy? It's not Finn. Fuck. What's his name? Quill. Yeah.
Peter Quill?
Yeah, Peter. Yeah, where he says like, I respect you, or I like you, boy, or something like that. Thanos actually seemed really respectful of every other superhero in the movie, which was really cool. I like that. I don't know. I really like Thanos. Thanos is like a really big part of this movie for me. In being as enjoyable as it was, man, it helped so much.
Yeah, as I said, it's not perfect, but it's so much better than you normally get from like a kids movie.
Yeah,
or from like an action movie.
What else? What else is there to talk about in the movie? What you guys bring up shit?
How do you feel about the trope of that you've seen a lot of this shit of like, oh man, we get so close and then someone fucks it up, like Quill.
Normally,
much, like,
yeah, normally,
like they're prying the glove off of him, and Quill he's gonna fuck it up because someone like that in that situation, someone always fucks it up, and there's half an hour left in the movie. But I mean, like,
yeah, I mean, like normally I would say that shit is really lame, but I mean, I feel like, oof, I'm gonna go extra movie on this, but it's still within the universe, so I think it's fair. They've spent two movies building the relationship between him and Gamora, so I think it's fair for him to have that reaction. I think they've earned that, even if they didn't necessarily in this movie. I think they've spent enough time building those two characters up that I think it's okay for it to happen. It was kind of dumb. I agree, but like, yeah.
And maybe the fact that I haven't seen those other two movies is why I think it's kind of dumb and pretty dumb, and I would rather it not be there. But I guess I'm resigned to the fact that it's just something. It's a trope. It's there. We're gonna get really close, and then someone's gonna fuck it up, and then I guess we could magically pull it out at the end in this one. But
yeah, and also it is consistent with Quill's character. Like Quill isn't like the most mature guy, and even in this movie that was established, right? Where you would expect him to act more on emotion than.
Sure.
Doctor Strange giving up the stone just to save Stark's life was a little No, actually, I think that's fully justified inside the plot. When he was doing his time future bullshit or whatever, he said that he only saw one path forward, so it's entirely possible. Because I would stake money on this, unless the writers are fucking garbage tier, like literal Game of Thrones season 5+ or 4+ garbage tier.
You're gonna think that he foresaw this?
No, absolutely, way? And I know that to be the case.
No, I agree with you. That's the only thing. Like that's the idea that I had when I saw it. It's like, well, that's the only thing that makes sense here.
Sure. Well, I know this for two reasons. One is because he looks forward into the future and he says that there was only one path. There was like 14,603,000 that fuck up, and one path where we actually win. And then when he's fading away at the end, when everybody is kind of dying to the Infinity Stones, he says this was the only way, or it had to be this way. Yeah. So that line combined with the earlier foreseal, he has to be saying that, you know. If Thanos didn't have the time stone before going to Earth, he'd probably have killed 100% of the heroes rather than just 50%. Oh, maybe. Did the part with Spider-Man and Tony's Peter was fading away break you as well? I thought Tom nailed that. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty sad part where they were all dying, sure. I really disliked the random plot points that popped up. The Smith, the stone in the forehead. Yeah, I mean, there was like a lot of kind of random stuff, but I mean, damn, they're weaving together so many different stories. And I feel like they gave it enough time. I thought it was kind of funny that Peter Dinklage is a dwarf and plays a giant. I don't know if that was like intentional.
Oh, it was totally intentional. That was totally intentional.
That was kind of memey.
It was very memey. It was as memey as you can make it.
Oh, part of the shot compositions or whatever. I guess maybe this goes into the cinematography a little bit. I thought that all of the fight scenes were really, really well done. They all felt like really impactful, and they didn't feel like, I don't know, in some fight scenes, I don't know if this is just like a guy that follows Captain America around or what, but I feel like everything that Captain America is involved in is like really cool, whereas like all the Iron Man stuff is like just tons of explosions and people getting hit and flying like across the universe and like a million times, and like everything's kind of silly. But I felt like things were a lot more scripted out in terms of action sequences in this movie. And again, I feel like with every Captain American movie that just seems to be the case. I don't know if there's like a special dude that he works with or something, but yeah, I felt like all of that was handled really well. Everything with the Doctor Strange dude, like people coming in and out of portals and everything, I thought that looked really cool on film or on the screen. I thought that all of that was like incredibly smooth and everything. It's the Russo brothers directed this movie and the last two Captain Americas. Oh, okay, maybe. Why couldn't Strange use that portal power to chop off the hand we saw it earlier in the beginning villain? I'm not sure. Do you know why? Is there a reason why couldn't he just make a portal over the one dude's hands and then chop off the hand? Well, if he makes the portal, wouldn't he have to put his hand in it?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, like I don't. That seems like it would be very, very difficult to do. Mm-hmm. And like the time it did happen happened very much by chance.
Yeah, going back to the fight cinematography and the liking of Thanos, I don't know how much of this movie rode on Thanos for me. All of his fight scenes were really cool. It felt like a video game boss battle where he had like the different stones and he was using all of the different stone powers like in battle, and each stone lit up and did a different thing. I thought that was really cute. I really liked that. Yeah. Thanos was like the protagonist in this movie. I felt that way in a lot of ways. It kind of was. You know that usually it's the protagonist that journey across the universe trying to gather like a certain number of stones in order to accomplish their end goal or whatever. Normally the protagonist has to make like great sacrifices along the way, maybe even the sacrifice of a loved one, like Thanos had to with Gamora. In some ways, yeah, you could argue that that Thanos was the protagonist. Sure.
He was the main character all along.
The next movie is how they retcon everything and incorporate the X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the next movie is
they moved. They filmed the two Avengers movies, this one and the next one back to back. So,
gotcha.
It is already filmed. We just have to wait 2 years for them to let tension build again. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
Marketing.
What did you think about Gamora's speech to Thanos before throwing off a cliff? I thought it was a bit silly. What? I thought it was perfect. What do you mean? I think it was really good because Gamora, in a way, is verbalizing the thoughts of the audience. Or at the very least, I thought that we were getting like a Dumbledore moment. Actually, I really liked that plot point. That was actually really good.
Really?
Yeah. So in Harry Potter,
I was in that movie. It's like I was in that movie when I was there, or when I saw that, I'm like, she's getting thrown off a cliff. I immediately.
Yeah, like, of course. But the reason why was really good. In Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Dumbledore hides the Philosopher's Stone and casts a spell or uses a trick in such a way that somebody that wants to destroy the universe or whatever, or gain like power for malicious ways, would never be able to acquire the stone. And the way that you acquire the Philosopher's Stone was, I don't remember if you had to look in that mirror not to do it, but the stone would only appear for somebody that didn't want to use it. And I thought that was really interesting. So for the Soul Stone, the only way that you could acquire the Soul Stone was if you'd make a sacrifice of something that you truly loved. And when the person said that, when that guy, I don't remember his name, the dude, the red-faced dude, when he said that, I thought that the implication here was going to be, okay, Thanos fucked himself because Thanos is like a really evil dude and he doesn't love anything, right? He's just a bad guy, so like he's never going to get the Soul Stone. So I thought we were going to go into a part on like what is he going to do to actually get the Soul Stone since he doesn't have anything he loves to sacrifice. But then you find out he actually genuinely really does love his daughter Gamora, Red Skull, yeah. Which I thought was an interesting turn point. And Gamora verbalizes all of that, like, oh, well, you don't love anything, you're totally fucked. But then you find out that his love for his daughter is a very, very real thing. I didn't see that coming. I thought that he was actually fucked there.
I see. I suppose the two ways you could have gone there is like, oh, this means that he needs to get someone else to get the stone for him, or that he's a sociopath who actually does love his daughter and wants to destroy half the world universe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, he's probably a sociopath. That daughter she's getting thrown off the cliff.
Well, but throwing her off the cliff doesn't work unless he actually loves her. That was the whole point.
But I mean, you could be you could see him as like sort of a sociopath who does love and want to destroy at the same time. I wasn't that surprised by that.
I guess. Honestly. I'm not comfortable calling him a sociopath, though. I mean, I think that he feels fully justified compassionately for why he's doing what he's doing.
But I mean,
what do you think Thanos About first time failing his destiny was. He said he wouldn't fail his destiny twice and kill Gamora. Haven't the other movies been about him trying to get like the Infinity Stones? Like, wasn't that Guardians of the Galaxy 1? Was the one guy, Thanos' son, trying to get an Infinity Stone for him, but then he betrayed him or some shit? And then I feel like there were 2 different movies. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It was him failing to save his planet? Oh, maybe. I was surprised Drax was a non-factor in the Thanos fight. Was it supposed to be a meme created? Which one is Drax? Wait, do you remember that?
Is he the big off-colored dude?
Oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Sure, that dude is nothing. I don't think that guy is. He's just like a strong fighter. That's it. I don't think that guy, power level wise, doesn't match with any. Like, I think Drax loses to almost every single superhero, even on Earth. Like, I think Captain America should be able to beat Drax in a one-on-one. That's what it feels like to me, though. I could be wrong, but... Do you think they're going to undo literally all the deaths, or do you think some of the deaths are going to stick? Well, they'll make some of them stick for sure. But, I mean, they'll undo probably a lot of them.
It's very possible that, yeah, they're going to undo a lot of these deaths. I would not put it past anything for there to be like a rewind time, do-over, something.
I just feel like all the main characters were irrelevant to anything in the plot other than the jokes. I mean, there were like a lot of characters they were trying to work in, so... How about the plot point where the Hulk didn't want to come out? I don't know anything about that. I'm guessing that's explained like in a Hulk movie or something.
I think the Hulk was in the last Thor movie. I think he had to have been. Based off of how the movie started. Yeah, because I looked this up yesterday. I think the Hulk was in the last Thor movie, so maybe it had something to do with that. Or maybe it was explained there.
Maybe. Why Bruce Banner can't change into the Hulk.
Do you think it's possible that they will reason with Thanos to undo his crime? Maybe the real plot will be the redemption arc of Thanos.
Maybe. Did you see after the credits? I looked at it when I came home. I didn't see it in the theater. I waited for the mid-credit roll, but then the mid-credits came and then nothing happened, and then the lights in the theater turned on, and then the end credits rolled. So I thought that they weren't going to have one, which would have been, I think, like the first time ever for a Marvel movie, but I looked it up after. I read a little bit. Did you read anything about the Miss Marvel or whatever?
Yeah, that's a movie that's coming out next year, along with the next.
Yeah, I don't know about... That character sounds really dumb to me. I'm not sure. Like literal god tier power shit. What did you think about Vision throughout the movie? I must have missed another movie with him. I saw Age of Ultron, but I must have missed the movie where he like wants to go off and become like a human or something, because I totally didn't get that at all.
The best part of this movie is the traumatized kids and normies walking out of the theater. After the end, Nathan Pepe.
Oh, I actually never saw Civil War, so that would explain why I don't know about him.
That's how they get your money. You gotta see them all to get all the lore.
What makes Miss Marvel special? What are her powers? Supposedly, Miss Marvel... Oh, fuck, Kyle, there's a fucking turtle! Wait, where'd he go? Miss Marvel is supposed to be, like, the strongest superhero, like, of all of them. Like, stronger than
Superman,
fucking...
right?
Like, stronger than Thor. You're kind of full of shit, Destiny. Wait, what? Am I wrong? That's what I read. I thought that Miss Marvel... I'm pretty sure there's an actual interview out where they stated that, like, when they introduced her, she's going to be the strongest superhero that's, like, ever in the whole Marvel universe. Am I wrong on that? Did I make that up? New hairstyle? No, my hair's just getting really long. What did Nathan think about it? I don't know. I didn't talk to him as much about it. Yeah, something that I mentioned before at the start. I wouldn't have taken Nathan to see this movie if I had seen it in advance. I was kind of thinking it was going to be a standard superhero movie, but it ended up being a lot darker than I thought it would be.
Why do you think? Because you think you wouldn't like it, or you?
Because it was just really dark. I didn't want it. I just wanted to see like a standard superhero movie, not like some really dark shit where everybody dies and loses.
I don't know. You seem to be the standard, like, I don't. Well, you seem to be all about, like, I don't really care if my kid sees violence sort of movie thing.
Well, yeah,
You
but
care
like
about him
like
seeing-
the values are really important too. Like right now, he's been like on a hero binge, or not hero binge. He's been on a horror binge a lot, and I just like listening to him talk about like horror shit all the time. Just like I want him to make sure that he's not like gonna grow up and be like a murderer or some shit, or that like I don't know. Like I think getting like positive violence is good too, right? Like there's a difference between like watching Saw and watching like innocent people being killed all the time versus like watching superhero movies where there's violence but the good guys win at the end. So like this, so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to see this movie. So this kind of went contrary to that, you know. Didn't you say you used to consume a lot of horror shit when you were young as well? Yeah, but everything I consumed always had like a positive outlook at the end. I mean, like I went through a horror phase, but like all like the JRPGs and all of that shit, like usually had good guys winning at the end. It wasn't just about like murdering a ton of people and being violent as fuck and everything for no reason.
You just said horror and then JRPG in the same sentence. I don't.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is like I didn't go through life for like 10 years of horror movie binging. Like I did binge a lot of horror movies, but I was playing like games with what I would consider positive messaging.
That wasn't the only thing you were doing. At
yeah,
the time
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't like watching horror movies and playing horror games and reading horror stories. It was like more than that. Why do you care about positive messages in fictional movies? How will that affect Nathan? I don't know. I think that positive messages are important in art. I would argue. I think it's an important thing. Okay. Do we have any final thoughts on the movies, or can I get rid of the title and everything?
Are we just not gonna? Oh, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. It was an enjoyable movie.